Okay, welcome to another episode of Black Atlas Goings On. My name is Kenny, aka Black Atlas, and first and foremost, as you can see, we have moved houses, so I have a better setup for my videos so I can get them out to you. Okay, so I do like this setup better than the setup at the other house because I am able to have you, the viewers, my fans, on the other side of a table or a island where I can actually do things on and I don't have to film from behind me like in my previous videos. But today's video, wait a minute, I'll be right back. I just heard somebody knocking at my door. Wait a minute. Oh, I wonder what's in the box. Oh, I know what's in this box. You, come on, so you can see what's in this box too. Okay, so this is a surprise. So this is going to be something that I am going to be cooking for the crawfish boil that I went to last year. And if you didn't see that, that was a good time. So make sure you go back and check that video out. And so this year, the host, Brian, asked me to do something special for it. So let's go ahead and turn this around. Maybe you'll get an idea of what it's from. It's the Louisiana Crawfish Company, and they are known for a couple things. They're known for their crawfish, obviously, and then they're known for what's in the box. So let's get this box cracked open, and then we'll go from there. Okay, so I got the box unwrapped. Let's go ahead and get it opened and see what's inside. Get all these ice packs out. All right, the moment of truth. Ladies and gentlemen, this right here is a 33-pound alligator. This is going to go on my spit roaster that I have. I have to let it thaw. So the best way to thaw it is to put it in the refrigerator for overnight. So I have to see if I have enough room in my refrigerator for this to thaw. And if not, I'll just have to put it in one of my coolers with some ice. So let me see if I can clear a shelf in my refrigerator, and then we will go from there. Okay, so there is not enough room in my refrigerator to store an alligator overnight. So I'm going to have to actually put it in one of my coolers, and then I'm going to put some ice in there. I'm going to run to the store and get some ice. So that way it'll keep it cool, but it'll be still warm enough where it can thaw out. So let's go ahead and get this cooler and get this gator in this cooler. Okay, there we have it for right now. That's all we can do. I'll go to the store and get some ice and put it in there, and then I will see y'all in tomorrow once it is thawed out, and I can go ahead and get the tail trimmed up, get that fat out of there that needs to come out of that tail, and then brine it for 24 to 48 hours. So I'll see y'all tomorrow. Okay, welcome to day 2 of the alligator cook, where we are going to be brining the alligator and leaving it in there for another 24 hours or so. So that way that seasoning mix and those flavors can get into that alligator meat. So let me first tell you what I'm going to be using in my brine. I have about 3 gallons of water over here behind me in my pot on the stove. And then I've got red onion, white onion that I'm going to slice. I've got 2 lemons, 2 oranges. Then I have some garlic and herb seasoning, some crawfish, shrimp, and crab boil seasoning, Tony's Cajun 2-step. I got some tequila lime seasoning, some adobo, definitely some Old Bay's going in that water. Then I got the garlic jalapeno rub from Heath Riles. Then I got 1 cup of kosher salt, 1 cup of sugar. I got some onion flakes. Then I have some pink Himalayan sea salt. And then I have some lemon pepper, some Southwest Chipotle, Mrs. Dash, buttery steakhouse seasoning, and black peppercorns. So this is going to be 2 tastes. You can definitely taste the water throughout making your brine, so that way you can see if you like the flavor or if anything else needs to be added. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and turn on the water behind me so that way it can start heating up before I put these ingredients in. And then once I'm about to put these ingredients in, I'll come back to you, show you what it looks like, and then we'll go from there. Okay, so the water is starting to heat up. I got all my fruits and my onions sliced. So we're going to start dropping those in the water, and then we're going to start getting these seasonings in the water. So that way when it comes up to a boil, I can go ahead and start cooling it down with some ice to get that alligator in the brine mix. So let's go ahead and get some of that done. We are going to go ahead and put in some of the onion flakes. And those are actually onion flakes that I smoked myself in my smoker. Then we are going to throw in some of the also smoked pink Himalayan sea salt. Then we are going to put in the cup of salt, kosher salt, and the cup of white sugar. Then we are going to throw in the lemon pepper powder. Then we are going to throw in some of the garlic jalapeno rub. And then we're going to throw in some Mrs. Dash Chipotle. Then we are going to throw in our crawfish, shrimp, and crab boil in a bag. Only a little bit of seasonings left to go, which we got the garlic and herb. Then we got our Tony Chachere's 2-step, some of our adobo, some of our black peppercorns, some of our tequila lime, some of our Old Bay, some of our buttery steakhouse seasoning. Then we have our zesty marinade that I'm going to toss in the water just to give it a little bit of extra flavor. And then last but not least, we are going to get our fruits and onions out. All right, let's get our onions in, and let's get our lemons and oranges in. Okay, now that everything is in the pot, we just have to wait for it to come to a boil, and then we can get the alligator in the cooler, and then we can get the brine and the ice put on top of it so it can brine for about 24 to 36 hours. Okay, so all of the seasonings and fruits and vegetables are in the brine water now. So we are just waiting for it to come up to a boil, and we'll let it boil for a couple minutes and then turn it off, get some ice and the boil in a cooler so that way it can brine that alligator overnight. Yeah! Okay, so the brine is done in the pot. I've got my bags of ice. I've got Alligator here ready to get put in that brine bath. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take you out on my back deck and get you pointed at the cooler so you can see everything getting lowered into there. So I'll meet you out on the back. Okay, so we are going to go ahead and get this hot brine pouring into the cooler. So let me go ahead and get my heat-proof gloves on and get this hot pan full of hot brine. And then after that, we are going to go ahead and put one of these bags of ice in and see how much more we're going to need. I do have 3 bags of ice, so we should have enough. All right, here we go. Coming out with the brine, and it smells delicious. All right, that was the whole thing of brine. So what I'm going to do now is I am going to go ahead and get one of the bags of ice and drop in there to get that cooled down fast. Okay, now that we have the brine in there and we have the ice in there, the only thing we're going to need to do is get Alligator into the cooler. Yeah. So I'm getting him out of the refrigerator. I was able to get him in there yesterday, so there was enough room. So let me go ahead and get him unpacked, and then I'll show him to you right before he gets dropped in the brine. And here is the alligator. Let's see how I can get this to fit in here. Okay, so we are all set up for the brine. We have the alligator in here. It was a little bit too frozen still for the cooler. So as it defrosts while it's brining, it'll be a little bit more maneuverable. But I did get the majority of it covered. And what I would do is every few hours, I'll come out and I'll rotate the alligator so all of it gets brine. And so the next time I see you, it will be time to get this seasoned and on the spit roaster. So I'll see you in a little while. Okay, so here we are, the day of the crawfish boil. So we're about to do the last few steps with the gator. We're going to get the gator out of the cooler, get him on these cutting boards here, and then we're going to get all of that fat taken out of the tail, and then we're going to get it seasoned and ready to go on the spit roaster. So let me get some gloves on right now. Then I'll get that gator out of the out of the cooler, and get it put on the table so we can get it sliced and diced with that fat. Okay, so there is the gator. That thing is huge and heavy. So let me get my fillet knife, and we're going to go ahead and get that bad fat out of the tail, and then we'll get it seasoned up and ready for the crawfish boil. So I'll see you back here in a second. All right, so we got my fillet knife here. Now, everything that I've looked at that talks about how this stuff works, basically, there is a bone, and you can actually feel it. It goes down the middle, so you just got to go. There it is. And you can run. You can hear it cutting right there, right next to that bone, and that's where the bad fat is going to be. And so the tailbone actually runs in a T form. So there's two top muscles and two bottom muscles. So you got to make sure you get the fat out of both top and bottom, or the tail meat will taste swampy. And here is some of that fat. It will not render, so we got to get it out of there. Now see, with small gators, there's not a lot of fat in there because they're not that old, but you still want to get it out of there so you can have the best tasting meat possible. Now you won't get it all, just like when you try to get it all from like beef or something, but as long as you get most of it out, you're good to go. All right, that's that side. And then you're going to do the same thing right on the other side of that same bone up top. And there's all of that white fat in there again. Okay, now it's time to get this flipped over and get the other side done. And one other thing as well, when you are doing the bottom of the tail, there is a loin in each side, and you can pretty much pull it out once you get that tail split, right? Right there. and there is one on each side. So we pull that up, and then we get all of this fat out because there's a lot on the bottom. All right, we got that side done. Now all we got to do is get this last side done. Then we will get the inside of the tail seasoned and then butcher twine, and then we will season the rest of the gator and get it on a tray to get it ready for the crawfish boil and going on the rotisserie. And now with that cleaned out, you can put that tenderloin back in there and then start working on this other side. And there is the tenderloin from this side. And you just got to shave that meat off as close as you can. I mean, shave that fat off as close to the meat as possible so you don't lose that much meat. Around this tenderloin. Okay. So that gator is all trimmed up with the fat. So all I got to do now is get this seasoned, get it twined up, and then get it over to the crawfish boil and get it on the spit. So once I start getting those steps done, I'll be right back with you. Okay, so we got the loins back inside, and that is on both sides. So what we are going to do is I got my Cajun seasoning mixed up here with a little bit of barbecue rub because this is going to go on the spit roaster. So I'm going to get this tail seasoned first and then get it wrapped up with butcher twine. And then we will get the rest of the body seasoned and then put on a tray and ready to go over and get cooked. All right, so the bottom is done, and we will go ahead and do the bottom of the legs as well. Look at these big old ham hocks on here. Action. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and get this other side of this tail meat seasoned and then get this tail wrapped up. Action. Okay, so the gator is all seasoned up. Now it's time to get this wrapped up on this tray and then get it taken over to where it's going to be cooked. So I will see y'all in a bit. Okay, so I got the grill dropped off at the crawfish boil. I have the gator dropped off at the crawfish boil, and it's all seasoned and in the refrigerator. So it's going to sit there for a little bit. Now the only thing that is left to do is for me to get ready. So it is time for Black Atlas to get out of his Black Atlas video gear and get into his crawfish enjoying gear. So for you, it will only be a second, and for me, it will be a little while. So I will see you in a second. Back! Okay, now as you can see, I am ready for the crawfish boil. Got my tank top on, got my swim trunks on, got my sunglasses, because it's going to be hot here in Nebraska today. It is going to be over 100 degrees, and that is the actual air temperature. That's not the feel. The actual temperature is going to be 102 degrees today. So I don't want to be hot. And with that being said, now it's time to go ahead and head over to the crawfish boil, because we got the grill over there, the rotisserie's over there, and most importantly, the alligator is over there. So let's go and get that on the grill. I'll see y'all in a few. Okay, so we are here at the crawfish boil now. We got the grill, the charcoal coming up to temperature. So what we're going to do now is we are going to go ahead and get this alligator on the spit, and then right when we put it on the spit, we'll give it a view for you so you can see what it looks like. I'll see y'all in a second. And he said that I could just, Brian, you sure I can just set this on the table? Move the tray. Oh, damn it, Joe!
Oh, watch out for the juice.
Oh no!
Okay, so the crawfish is on. I mean, not the crawfish. Well, yeah, the crawfish is on, and also the alligator is spinning. So I will see y'all once we get the alligator close to being done.
And I'm going to turn this way and do that so I can see it. There you go.
It's been on there since about 12:30, like 4.5, 5 hours. But when we do it out, we need to have it long enough to hold the tail and the leader. Yeah. But I won't have a problem doing
Am I going to get credit in the video? Can you put my name as the cameraman?
That might be a bunch of fat. Here's our little meat right.
Okay, so the crawfish boil is over. We had a blast, and the alligator turned out absolutely amazing. Next year, they want to do it even bigger and better. So we may have a new grill coming soon. But with all that being said, make sure you like, share, comment, subscribe, and get us over that 500 subscriber mark. Let's do it. We can do it. I know you can. And until then, I've been Kenny, aka Black Atlas. And like I said, like, share, comment, subscribe. And until the next one, I'll catch y'all on the flip side.